This is Lizzie from Let Zoe Spoil You.
And Sagira from Sagira Salutes You. And together, we are Newbie versus Weeaboo. Sagira, Newbie.
Lizzie, a weeaboo.
It's Newbie versus Weeaboo.
Ahoy, hoy.
Heidi, hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. Just chilling out. Just doing the same thing I do every day.
It's over. The series, the film, it's all over.
Yeah, it
What
was
more,
the end.
What more could we do?
Wait for them to release part 4 of the remake.
Do you know what we can do?
Oh.
We can ask and answer some unanswered questions or theorise. Because there's something that never got answered.
Yes.
For those of you who are wondering what we're talking about, we are talking about Neon Genesis Evangelion, the everything, because we finished it.
Woo!
So yes, what we thought we would do is talk about all the other things that we didn't really get to talk about near the end, because so much happened that it was just getting ridiculous doing the whole episode, analysing it, and then having to talk about all the little bits and bobs that, you know, like music and artistry and all that kind of stuff. It was hard to fit everything in. So we thought we'd use this episode of Newbie versus Weeaboo to do all that. Because we can.
Yay!
It's our show. We can do what we want. Before we do get into that, I have one question about something that I found in another podcast that we did.
Okay.
Let's see if you can answer this.
Uh-oh.
So, Asuka's mum died. They found the body. How did her mother end up inside Ava 2?
Science.
Perfect. Okay, moving on.
I don't know. I assume they extract, because it's the soul, and they kind of things have more physical things. So when she died and her AT field would have collapsed, they were able to siphon off her soul and turn it in, or they turned her spiritual essence into the core, or the electromagnetic signal that you leave behind when you die, because we've got energies in our body, because they've all got some kind of sciencey stuff has made everything, and they can make like Ava gods, and they'll find a way to siphon off someone's being, and your being is also made up by the energies that exist inside you as well as your consciousness, so they turn that into, solidifies into cores. Or they suck it out before the person even dies. Because, well, Asuka's mum wasn't exactly all there by the time she committed suicide. But they would have found a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Okay. See, and these are the kind of things we will discuss today. The first thing I want to talk about is favourite characters. Lizzie, who is your favourite character?
My favourite character has always been Rei Ayanami.
I can tell from the way you talked about her in all the past things, because you were just like so obsessed and you just knew everything about her.
I love Rei. I always have. She was the one that resonated with me the most because, I mean, when it first came out, I was round about 16, 17. So she was the one I also found the most attractive. So I was attracted because I like the white hair look and I like red eyes. So I found her the most attractive, but I also found her the most appealing and interesting because she was the one that's like, well, I was shy and reserved and didn't like talking to people and hidden away and just didn't want to be out there, but I was definitely not as pathetic as Shinji. I had my own space and liked to be by myself, but I also found that she had the most interesting journey because it was all about like discovering oneself and realizing that you can connect to people, and there was just so much of the conspiracy was wrapped around her, and I just thought she was such a beautiful thing when she smiled. It was like, oh, there is a soul in there. There is just a really nice child, and she's gone through all this tragedy, and she's learning how to love, and I thought her journey was really beautiful.
She started the series as a mystery as well, because the first time we see her, she's dumped onto the floor coming out of a coma, and it's like, who is this girl, and why have they just dumped her here, clearly not able to do anything? So from there, you're already wondering, who is this girl? So she's always had questions around her. And you do think at first, oh, she's just an Ava pilot. But she just got more and more interesting. And she was an onion. There was just layers and layers and layers of her. And just when you think that you know who she is or what she's about, something else pops up and it's like, oh, no, wait, she's more complicated than that. Or she's got this relationship with this person that we didn't know about. And because she had a whole history that we don't learn about until right near the end.
It's a fascinating journey. It's really interesting because when you look at it, when I was younger, I related to her through the wanting to be by myself, liking studying, not really sure how to relate to other people. But now watching it in my 30s, I'm like, oh, I miss Sato. I'm a slob.
it.
I drink too much. I overcompensate. I hide my true feelings, but I'm trying to like learn from my mistakes.
Well, that's it. I feel like with this, you've got the character that's your favourite and then the character you relate to, which may not necessarily be the same thing. You're drawn to different characters for different reasons.
Yeah.
So for me, my favourite character was Kaji because he's such a cocky bastard. And, you know, he came across as this Casanova who was a ladies' man and he was just winding up Misato. But then once you know about their history and everything, and it was her who broke up with him and all this kind of stuff, you realise actually he's a really loving, intelligent person who all he wants to do is be with Misato. Or as we found out in one episode, if he couldn't be with Misato, then he's happy to die because, you know, what else is there? And it's so sad. Yeah, I just really like Kaji. And the things he used to say to Shinji to help him out and help him through things, it's like, you are a sensei in some ways, aren't you? You are like this really, Confucius, that's the word. And he did help Shinji a lot. I mean, he's the one who got Shinji back into the Ava when it was all going to pot. And he was always calm. Like, no matter what the situation, he was just chill and just accepted whatever was going to happen. Didn't mean he didn't fight. You know, he did everything he could because he was in the most danger, really, investigating for both sides. Because if one false move and either one could kill him, which in the end they did.
Yeah.
Which then leads on to the other thing. Who killed Kaji? Because somebody kept teasing me with, when you find out, oh, it's so sad. And then it never happened.
Yeah. Me and my husband had this discussion and we both thought it was the same person. And we're like, where the hell did we get this idea from? Because I was convinced it was Ritsuko.
Which makes a lot of sense. They know each other really well. They have a past. All Ritsuko wanted was Kaji and Misato get back together because she kept saying to him, be patient, because she knew that Misato deep down really did love him. And for her to be the one to kill him is a huge betrayal. And it would also explain why she became so cold after that episode, because it was after that episode that she started to seem like she was shutting herself off from everyone.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's in the same episode where you see that Gendo has given her up to be the new kind of spy for the council, and the council are using her to do their dirty work. And obviously one of the first jobs the council needed done is they realised that Kaji was a double agent and they couldn't trust him. They needed someone to kill Kaji, and Kaji knew the council would get someone new and it would be someone like Gendo trusted, so he would know who was going to be sent after him. So when he's there, it's like, oh, I've been waiting for you. He recognised the person and he knew who the council would choose and greeted them with such a friendly manner. I mean, there's a lot of arguments saying that, oh, why would the council send someone who's like so intelligent that it would be a risk to be sent to kill Kaji? But the thing is, it's like, it wouldn't be a risk sending Ritsuko to kill Kaji because Kaji wasn't going to resist because he knew who was coming after him. I'm still to this day convinced it was Ritsuko, and it's why she and Misato so stopped. Their friendship kind of died after that event, not because Misato knew about it, but because Ritsuko just shut herself off from everybody and was really cold, and also wanted Misato to feel cold and unhappy. It was the catalyst that broke Ritsuko.
Because there's the other series that you told, like the film of Evangelion True Squared, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So is it in that, or because you said there was new things added?
No, because I went on to look up, and everyone still just debates who killed. Yeah, they don't know. And the creator of the show came out and said, "Oh, it's not one of the main characters." And I'm like, I don't know if you're telling the truth or if you're just being a pain in the bum because it's Ritsuko. I can't think of anyone else. Because if it's not one of the main characters, why would Kaji just be so relaxed, going, "Oh, I thought it would be you," and like, you know, happy to see the person that's about to shoot him?
Because it's Pen.
Yeah.
He knows Pen.
Yes.
He's not a main character. Pen's highly intelligent for a penguin.
There we go.
I'm just throwing that one out there. But then Kaji's my favourite character, but the character that I relate most to is Asuka.
Oh.
For that, not in the way that a bad child and everything. I had a great upbringing, let's get that straight. Yeah. My parents were very loving and very attentive, so it was nothing to do with that. It was just the whole boy thing of wanting attention, wanting to be acknowledged. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's because when I was younger, boys didn't pay attention to me at all because I was slightly more overweight than the other girls and I was a bit nerdy. And as soon as a boy did pay attention to me, I was like, oh my God, look at me, yay. And it's not a way I feel like I wasted my childhood doing that at such a young age. I wish I'd go back and just enjoy being that age rather than trying to be verified by everyone else. So I do relate to Asuka in that way. The doors to my mind are opening.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's your worst character?
I mean, it's easy to say Gendo because he is the worst, but he's meant to be the villain. You're not meant to like him. The character that I never got on with when I was younger, because it changed. When I first watched this, I did not like Oscar.
Really?
Yeah, because she was that typical, look at me, notice me, I'm so smart, I'm so pretty. The kind of girl I hated being around. Because I was all like, don't look at me, I'm trying to read my book. Just stop being, like, everywhere. I feel a lot more sympathy for her as an adult because I'm an adult and I've, been through my own traumas and stuff, that I see her in a new light. Like, doesn't mean I like her personality, but I can see how it's all come together.
Yeah, you can see how someone makes that journey from being a happy little child to a damaged teenager.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, goodness, yeah. She's got a lot of reasons why she's like that. I don't like her look at me, overconfident attitude. It's not one. But I can understand it. I mean, I still don't particularly like her when she first joins the series, but I definitely feel sorry for her by the end of it. She doesn't deserve any of the stuff that happens to her. Like, Gendo I don't like because he's a dick, but he makes a great villain. I don't know who I dislike, really. There's no one I dislike. There's someone I feel a bit more apathetic to. I don't like Ritsuko's mum. She's a vile woman.
And also she killed your Ray.
Yeah, exactly. She killed Ray. She chose freaking Gendo over her own daughter. She was horrible.
For me, the character that made me facepalm the most was Shinji.
Oh, God,
So many times I'll be sat here, I'm like, oh, you're such a whiny little boy. I understand that you've been through a lot, but at the same time, come on. Like, really? So, like, he learned the same life lessons over and over again, and he would, like, break through and then go, nope, don't like this new breakthrough. I'm going right back to where I was. And it's like, oh, come on, Shinji.
He is an absolute pain in the bum. You're kind of like, you try not to hate him because he's the main character, but at the same time, he is an absolute, like, just get over it. Just get in the robot, Shinji.
I have no problem. I mean, you've got these two strong woman characters who, you've got Asuka and you've got Rei, who are just all about saving humanity and not wanting the world to go to poop. And then you've got Shinji, who's like, but I don't want to kill people. I don't want to, not because it's bad, but because it makes me feel bad. What about my feelings? Screw your feelings, Shinji. In this situation, you need to put all that aside and do what's best for everyone, not you. Oh. And yes, I know it's hard. I mean, he wasn't killing people. That's the thing. He didn't choose to attack Toji. I mean, he didn't know it was him in the thing anyway, but he didn't choose to do that. He technically didn't kill anyone, but he didn't want the collateral damage. And I get that, but at the same time, it's like, what's worse? At the time that he was feeling like this, what's worse? Some collateral damage or the end of the world?
Yeah. He never grew up. Like, he didn't grow up and face the reality of the situation because he always was just so worried about how it made him feel. And I'm like, wow, you're self-centered, child.
Really was. And I get it. I don't want to come across as this really harsh person who's like, your feelings don't matter, Shinji. But he just was really selfish all the time. It's not like he picked and chose when he was selfish. It was all the time. And sometimes, yes, you have to choose yourself, but this was like a really high impact situation with a lot of quick thinking. And like I said, you've got Asuka and you've got Rei who are out there doing what they need to do. Even if it meant that they were going to die, they still went out there and they did it. Shinji second-guessed everything and he didn't trust anyone. And yes, there was a lot of secrets kept from him. But
yeah,
you need to... he should have at least just trusted Misato, but to an extent he didn't. And it's...
yeah.
It was really frustrating.
Yeah, he didn't allow anyone to grow. People were growing through their connection with him. Like, Rei was learning how to like love and how to feel connection and how to feel a familiar bond for him. Misato was learning that like motherly streak and how to take care of someone. Oscar was trying to work through her feelings and reposition herself as to like not just want boys to pay attention to her, but how to form a friendship. And he was just, I'm going to take on none of these lessons of these women and not try and get to know them and just like run away from them all the time whenever it got a little bit emotional or complicated.
And it also, because there's not a lot of male characters in this, it was more women than men, because you had Shinji, you had Gendo, you had Kaji, and then you got the council. I mean, you do have Karu, but he was only in one episode, sadly, so we couldn't really count him. But other than Kaji, there's not, how do I explain this?
There's not many male role models on how to deal with your male feelings. Kaji was there for him, and I think Kaji could have helped him out in the end if he hadn't have got shot. But he didn't have any positive male models that weren't just like, oh, I'm tough man. It's like, no, this is how you deal with emotional well-being and still have that masculine side and that integrity to your personality.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you for being so eloquent about it.
The other thing I was going to say is, like, do you know, like, who still is a favourite character, like, after Rei? It is Kaoru.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't mention him, but from the way you talk about him when we watched his episode and how he was a really big influence on the gay community and what the message that he gave, and kind of a gay icon, really.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, one of my first. I don't know, there's just something about the way he unconditionally loves you. Not because of your body, of your gender, your sexuality, not wanting it, because you're a beautiful person inside and have something to give the world. It's so beautiful.
He was just a totally different character to everyone else. Everyone is all about their best interests and finding out truth and, all this kind of stuff. But he knew himself. He knew what he wanted. He was just completely polar opposite to everyone else in this. It was a nice, refreshing character to have added to it, and then we lose him. And it was like, oh, well, that would have been a nice character development, but never mind.
I think all the characters I liked the most in this series, none of them really made it to the end. It's so sad for Shinji that he's got to be in a world that has no Kaji, no Rei, no Kaoru, no Misato. No wonder he takes everything out on Oscar. And I was a bit like, oh, I don't like Oscar that much, but she doesn't deserve this. But, ooh, you're stuck with Oscar.
What was your favourite moment in the whole series?
Oh, God. See, I'm so macabre. My favourite moments are my, like, woe moments. I think one of my favourite moments is the escaping the orb, the way it's cut open and you just see how monstrous that Ava is and its true being is just like fantastic. It's really annoying because most of my favourite moments are the tragic moments, and I shouldn't really like the tragic moments, but there's something so beautiful about them. I think Rei 2's final sacrifice must be the most beautiful moment. The fact that she realises that she wants to be with Shinji and she was willing to sacrifice herself, and she pulls that angel back into her, and then there's all the metaphor because it's the angel of the womb, and it's all the metaphors of like her bringing it inside her, and she started thinking of herself as like, oh, potentially she could be a mother. Shinji sees me in a motherly way, I've got that in me, and then it all turns into giant Rei angel, and then she disappears, and I'm like, oh, your final sacrifice was so beautiful.
Another Rei thing then.
Yeah. So my two favourite moments is Rei 2's beautiful sacrifice and the first time we really actually realise we're scared of the Avas.
I think my favourite one, I spoke about it in the episode, was the Ava duet, where it's probably the only time that Asuka and Shinji were actually in sync and were working together. Just everything about that, the music, the artistry of it. It's this horrific battle, and it was done so well.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the top moments from all of Ava. If I wasn't such like a depressed, tragic hound, that'd be like, oh, that bit was amazing. I love it. If I was, my happy days, that's the best. But no, I
think my other favourite part was in the last episode when they did it as if what would have happened if none of this had gone down, where Gendo and Ui are there raising Shinji, Asuka is the best friend, like where you said it was all stereotypical tropes and stuff, because we had been through so many episodes of depression and sadness and death and all this kind of stuff, and the end, to finally get this little scene, though it wasn't real, it was just a nice relief from all of that. And to see some of these characters in different ways, like seeing Rei as a normal little girl and seeing Shinji as his mates are, it was just a nice break from all of that.
Yeah.
So that was another favourite bit. A chance to breathe and not think about what you're watching. Just go, oh, it's a bunch of boys who fancy Misato. And Shinji saw Rei's knickers.
Yeah.
What was your worst moment?
Now, it depends if it's worst moment as in like, oh, I don't like that, or worst moment as I thought, that's a really bad choice. My worst moment, and the one that really turns my stomach, is when, otherwise it's two, it's like, it's the whole Toji, please stop ripping his Ava apart, don't crush it, Unit 1, what are you doing, oh my god, I was not happy about any of that scene. And same, like, the one that creeps me out to this day, just unsettles me, especially when it's filmed from the distance shot, is when Ava turns into more of a beast and crawls along, its eyes glowing in the dark, you see the, like, warmth of its breath wisping on the air, and it starts eating the angel, and I'm like, no, I'm not good with that. No, that's like, that hurt my tummy. I'm like, I don't like it. Those are the stomach churning sticks with me. Like, obviously, like, it's different when you include the movie as well, but I'm not including the movie in this, because otherwise, obviously, we'll be like, what happened to Oscar? Just
Yes.
And the bit that, if you include the movie, what happened to Oscar, and the bit that I just never really sat well with me is Shinji randomly deciding to masturbate. And I was just like, well, that's a bit out of left field, even for Shinji. Any work of me trying to feel sympathy for this child, I'm just like, no, you just don't masturbate over your mates when they're in comas. It's just not a life lesson.
That's actually the one I picked. Of everything that I've seen, that was the worst thing that made me just go, oh, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not right. Because everything else, the two that you mentioned with Toji and, well, Toji, Ava 2, and when Ava 1 becomes Monster, all those are from the Avas who are learning to be beings.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have control really of what they are or what they're doing. It's just instinct for them to do that, because they have animalistic tendencies. So the eating of the angel carcass, the just raging out and just killing the thing that they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
That's all instinct. What Shinji did, he knew what he was doing, and he knows it was wrong, and it was a total violation of trust. And it was just the thing that just made me go, oh, Shinji. And that's another reason why I dislike the kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was the scene that of anything, it was the one that just made me feel really uncomfortable and not want to really watch it.
Yeah, it's the one scene that I wish wasn't in it. Like, some of the harsh scenes that you're like, oh, I'm really uncomfortable, this is making me sick. There's a really, like, interesting reason, and it's to show the harshness of these bestial creatures coming to their own, and they're shocking and uncomfortable, but they're also something that you can't project any fear onto yourself from it, because it's not going to really happen in any way, shape or form. But that scene is something that can happen in the real world, and like that violation of trust, or knowing that someone's, masturbating to you, is just, and it's like, oh, I don't want to see a world where this boy is in control, because I don't get where so many of your weird decisions. I understand where Shinji's coming from, because holy hell. But that, I'm like, I don't get why you would do that then.
I understand that they showed it because it's the lowest of the low. He has finally hit rock bottom. He's his one friend that he wants to be there. He was there to get comfort from her, and the way that he did that was to do what he did. And it's like, right, that's why you've put the scene in. You want to show that he is just not Shinji anymore. He's just this thing that is just living and reacting on impulse. But no.
Just
I don't like it. It doesn't. I just don't like that scene at all. I get it's there for a reason, but I don't. It's the scene that if I was to watch it again, I'd probably just skip it because it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No.
I'm not a prude. I just don't like the situation.
No, and I think, I mean, as I say, it reflects maybe differently on us being girls, but it's something like so uncomfortably realistic, and you can project that onto your actual daily life, unlike some of the other stuff when it's like, well, I can't project any of that into my reality.
Let's move on to something happier. What do you think was the best music score?
Oh, I think it's because I'm not musically talented enough to be able to hum any frigging tunes. But I just love the battle music. So like that epic, really like, and it makes things think, oh, it's quite intense, and it's got like loud beats to it, and yeah. So whenever like things are going really wrong and they're about to go into battle, I love all the battle themes. Any of the battle themes and anything when hitting the fan. That the intense scoring during those scenes, love it.
But that is something that anime creators are really good at doing, is battle scene music. You get all the feels, and they just know how to capture the moments through music. You could listen to that and go, right, at this point there's something fighting something else. For me, I like the intro, obviously, because it's so freaking catchy.
Yes. So good, so good. I still know the words to this day. It's amazing that I can still sing along.
But also the other one that I really loved was the in the middle of the end, the credits with the lounge music, and that was. I sat and I listened to it. It's 5 minutes long, and I sat and listened to it. So this is really nice. After all the horrific things that happened, you've just seen Asuka die, but nice lounge music.
Yeah, I do like that. I also do like the theme they use when the world is being remade. That just keeps tumbling down, tumbling down. It's really weird because I always think it's Hey Jude. Every time I keep thinking they're about to start singing Hey Jude, and I realise that it's not Hey Jude. I don't know why I'm convinced that this song is Hey Jude. It's not Hey Jude, but it just has a similar kind of feel and tempo to it.
Who do you think was the best character development?
Ooh. The thing is most of their character developments did not go in a positive way. So it's like you had really good character development. We found out a lot about you, but all that went like, because I actually think Ritsuko's journey is fascinating because of how badly it goes, like how she was such a strong and positive person. And obviously, like, Maya really looked up to her. She was really intelligent. She was crucial to so much of this. She was a good friend. She was supporting the relationship. But as it goes, the things that were happening to her just kept knocking her down. Especially if you believe, like me, that she's the one that killed Kaji. And what a journey, because by the end of it, she was like, oh, Jesus, you are not the person you used to be. But it's not really a positive character development. So obviously, my obvious choice for Nice Times is Rei. Because she went from what appeared to be a soulless doll to, well, rejecting Gendo, becoming a true angel, and giving Shinji the space and the confidence to remake the world in an image that may hurt him, but, you know, she was able to become the mother figure, the sister figure, the lover figure. And she also didn't forget Kaoru in the mix. She's like, no, I'm taking him with me. We are part of the same thing and we are going to be okay. But it was just the little moments. It was the moment she rejected Gendo and realised that she could be her own person and that she could make choices based on how she felt.
For me, my character development choice is Misato, because she starts out the whole thing as this beer-swilling, slobby sex icon because everyone fancied her, and she's confident and she's funny, and she goes from that to this person who is in love with a guy who turns out that she wanted to be with him because he reminded her of her dad. But then we find out that actually she really did love him despite all that. You know, she went through something horrific in her childhood. Like, there's so much to Misato from when you first see her that she's just this really interesting character. And it also explains why she is the way she is when we first see her, and why she's so driven and why she wants to help Shinji so much.
Yeah, I love Misato, but as I say, adult me sees a hell of a lot of myself in her, from the drinking, from the relationships and then trying to reject the relationships because you're like, no, this is too good for me, I must mess it up in some way and push it away, to the, well, obviously, like, not having a father anymore and having him pass away, and how weird the whole world gets when you lose him, because you're trying to, like, make sure you do things to make them feel proud, but then you're angry at them, and then, you know, in a difficult relationship with my mum and stuff, and like some of these adult dynamics were like, whew, this is very close to home. And that scene when she is drunk and she's walking home without her shoes on, and I'm like, oh my god, I have had that exact moment. I know that feels so much. But then also wanting to be like this nurturing, caring adult towards young people. I mean, yeah, she's an amazing character. Really interesting development. And she's also totally badass.
She kicks butt. And also, she proves time and time and again why she is in the position that she's in, like why she gets her promotion, all that kind of stuff. Because she's not just this person who's there to look after the children. She actually is intelligent, and she can get out of situations, and she can make the hard decisions when she needs to, like when she was ready to self-destruct Ava 1, even though it would have blown them all up, including Shinji, because her main concern is Shinji. She still decided that was the decision that she had to make if she was going to save the world. And that's where she and Shinji differ.
Yep.
She is willing to die for humanity, whereas he is struggling with what he is doing and why he's doing it. But they were in the same position in the terms of not knowing any more than that. As far as they knew, if something got to Adam, the world would end. And yet they had totally different ways of approaching it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so frustrating that Shinji didn't pay more attention to Misato and learn more life lessons from her. Yes, she's damaged, but who isn't?
Exactly.
And as she said in the, I can't remember if it's the film or the last episodes, she's learnt from her mistakes. She takes her mistakes and she learns and she grows and she moves on. And that's what Shinji needs to do. But he no listen.
No.
Is there any questions that were left that you want to know the answer to?
I mean, I'd like to know who killed Kaji. That's like the one biggest mystery in the entire thing. I would like to know who else potentially survived the apocalypse and just how they're going to function as a society with, giant Lilith bodies floating about and everything slightly destroyed. Like, what's going to happen next? But, you just have to leave that one up to your imagination. I know it's going to be hard.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Because Asuka did die. Unless she didn't, we just didn't see it. But you assume that she died.
Yeah,
Trauma.
The trauma, the pain, that her body being consumed.
Exactly. So you assume that she did die. But yet she came back. So did Misato come back? Did Bitsuko come back? Did the dead come back to life? Did Kaji come back?
Yeah.
How long do you have to be dead before you can come back?
Or did Shinji just literally make a world with just him and Oscar in it and then went, oh no, I don't like this?
Whoopsie. Ray, come back, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
I'll put you back together. It just starts dragging giant arms across the world. Yeah, that's all the subjects I've got. Is there anything you want to add?
I don't know. I think we've kind of gone through all the things I thought of. Well, you thought of, we thought of. I think it stands the test of time. I think it still looks visually stunning. I still think the animation is beautiful. You can see that there's sometimes in some of the scenes there's not a lot of movement. So how they save on budgetary requirements so that they can do more animated. Because obviously there's no CGI or anything. This is all hand drawn. So you can see where they kind of made choices that could ease the load. I love the mythology behind it. I do wish someone would release a book with all the mythology and the links between, because I can't go around reading all the Dead Sea Scrolls. I was like, oh my goodness, by the time I started reading some of it, I'm like, I don't have the capacity to read all of this. But yeah, I think the world is fascinating. I think even in today's climate, it still feels very current. This whole idea of man playing God and the people who aren't included and invested in it, the treatment of children by adults as property or things to be used and not understanding that their decisions can actually help shape the world because they're not corrupted by adult desire and wants and money and power and things like that. It's yeah, I just think it's a very fascinating journey.
I totally agree with them bringing out some sort of book or something, because the thing that we didn't get that we did our own research on was like the names of the angels, what each angel's name meant, what they were the angel of, because it then explains their aesthetic and why they acted the way that they did, because it's a description of that angel. And without actually looking into it, you wouldn't know that. So you're missing something from the episodes. So I totally agree. There should be some sort of book explaining this angel means this. This is why it did this, etc., etc. And also, it just makes it a more rounded world and more understanding and more. Okay. So with that, we're closing the chapter of Evangelion. I'm sure there's much more that we could talk about, but it's got to come to an end at some point. We can't spend the rest of our lives talking about Neon Genesis. So we need to move on.
Yes.
Like Cynthia, we need to move on with life and start a new chapter.
Yes.
Yay! Well
done us.
Woo. So yes, so next time we'll be talking about something completely different. I can't tell you what it is because only Lizzie knows, and she doesn't give up anything. So, no spoilers from Lizzie, even though her name is Let Zoe Spoil You.
Yeah.
Social media.
It's our last one. I know. No, I was just during. Okay, it's our last one. I was trying to make it good, but I'm like, I'm really hungry. So I don't know. I can't think of anything apart from Chinese dumplings because they're in the fridge at the moment. It's the end of Ava. I am coming in on a giant mecha. It is Mecha Lizzie. And I am... Ice beams! Junk, 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 junk. Look at me transform into my other form so I can now fly.
You're the worst.
Okay.
Remember what you were saying about saving budget on drawing things by hand and all that balls?
I'm going out and about. I'm a giant evolving mecha unit. That is what's carrying in my social media credits.
Well, I'm going to come in on my credits by doing what supposed Ritsuko did to Kaji. Bang. You dead. You do know that half our social media doesn't get seen now because there's so much bollocks going on in front of it.
Yeah. We're going to have to actually, literally, propel actual social media at each other now. The next one we're doing is this is my Twitter handle. It's coming for you. Ha
No. No more.
Yeah.
Oh, can't wait to get paid for editing. That'd be nice.
That'd be lovely.
All this time and effort I put into it. Okay.
Yes. But for now, this is a weeaboo saying Johnny.
And a newbie saying, it's the end. See you next time.